I would just like to give a little bit of insight into my own journey in mixed martial arts, my relationship with it, my experience in it, how it's changed my life, and how a lot of media members covering the sport today are not like they've never even trained the sport. They've never had they've never had a fight in their life, and I can't stand these media members that shit on fighters when they've never even trained, and the only thing they're fighting is fucking diabetes. Do you know what I'm saying? Fucking I I believe if you want to have an opinion that truly matters, you need to experience it yourself. And I've never stepped inside the cage myself. And I won't sit here and make excuses and say why not. But what I will say is, um, I started training mixed martial arts in 2018, out of Phantom Gym in Moore Street. Uh, yeah, and I'd spent some time in Thailand, and I'd always wanted to do Muay Thai, because I used to live with some mates from Brazil, and one of them just looked at me and he said, "You look like a fighter." And I said, I love watching the UFC, and it looks like fun, Honestly, I just seen it, and it looked like fun. And I remember before, back in the day, my mate back in school would show me like old tapes, but this was back in like 2010 or something, like back when fucking Dan Hardy and stuff was fighting. And I was kind of like, oh, that looks kind of cool, but I hadn't really taken on back then. And this is where I have to give Conor McGregor a lot of credit. I know, listen, I know, I know he's gone around punching all cunts and bars and everything. And listen, nobody's perfect, and you know, who knows? Maybe that amount of money could go to anyone's head. Who knows? So I'm not here to shit on Conor McGregor. We each have our good good points and our bad points, but he really did put the UFC and mixed martial arts like on the map. I remember the first kind of time I really took notice was, well, actually, I kind of heard people talking about him, and I was going to Dublin Business School, before on Cameron Street, but I remember this was before he was even in the UFC, and I knew it was him. I knew it was him just by the way, just by the fucking stroll, like the gorilla walk. Like that's kind of like he walks that way in real life. And then I just come back from Spain, and I seen his main event, live on the TV against Diego Brandao, and I thought, oh, this guy is fucking, this guy's the truth. Like he's gonna be something. Like, I mean, he was ready something. People were already talking about him. Like, this guy's gonna be a fucking superstar. And I remember like just being in Russia, and it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and watching this Chad Mendes fight. And then I happened to catch the brutal fucking Robbie Lawler just war, absolute just craziness, insanity, but warriors. I was captivated by it. It was like beautiful violence and chaos. Um, and then ever since the McGregor Aldo fight, I just became a UFC fan. I just like followed every event, and watched every event, and kept up with it. And I always I always felt like it was something that I could do, and something that I would be good at. But I guess I was a procrastinator. And then one day I just came. I think I just it was just after the Tyron Woodley Darren Till fight, and I remember I was coming back from Thailand, and I had all like these regrets about, I was in the best place in the world to do Muay Thai, because like I had a Brazilian friend who did martial arts before, and he would train me out of his back garden a bit, and he would teach me like basic levels of Muay Thai. And then I spent about 4.5 months in Thailand, and I got into two. Well, one was a bar fight, one was a street fight. Um, let's just say I was 2-0. Let's just say I was 2-0. And one of them was, see, that's the thing, that's the other thing I realized, like, size doesn't matter. Like one of them was a fucking 6'4" Czech Republican guy, fucking I because I thought Czechs were pussies after that. Like he's a bad representation of your country. Now I'm like, Yuri Prohaska's a fucking beast. But this guy was about the same fucking size as Yuri Prohaska. But he was trying to bully me at a bar all night, just talking shit. And then I was just kind of I was trying to let it go, and then but he wouldn't stop. He wouldn't stop poking the bear. So at the end of the night, you know, I'm not the type of person to talk shit. Like, you know what I mean? If you're gonna say something, and you see me, you better be able to back it up. So I thought, all right, I've had enough of it. Like, he was leaving, and I got up off the stool, and I was like, all right, let's go then, let's go, big man, let's have it, you know. And I had known enough Muay Thai to throw a front kick, and so when somebody throws a front kick at you and you're not trained, your instincts are to drop your hands to protect the area that's being attacked. And when he did that, um, he left himself completely open. And obviously he was a lot bigger. He had a good 30 or 40 pounds on me. But he was very slow, you know. And I I hit him with a straight right and cracked his nose, and his nose was like spraying blood and stuff. And I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure I broke the cunt's nose. I hit him with a second, and he was done. He was down, and I'm not a type of scumbag to kick somebody when it's down, but he was done, you know. And I was like, right, fuck it, like, you know, when you play stupid fucking games, you're gonna get stupid fucking prizes. And another one, well, actually, sorry, three and all. Well, but some of these aren't really big things though. It's just like, I mean, the other two times was I seen girls being, like, you know, abused, like, physically by fellas. And you know, one of them, I just pushed him away, but he obviously wasn't going to do anything back to me because I'm not a fucking woman. Do you know what I'm saying? He's fucking coward type people that abuse a woman. The other one was, I was seeing a little Thai bird, and this fucking tall Russian fella was like, had his hands all over her, and she didn't know him, and I wasn't sure if she was in distress, and I wasn't waiting around to fucking ask questions. I fucking cracked the cunt. He was a tall cunt, and he's Russian. They can take a fucking punch, but he didn't touch me, like, because every time he was fucking ducking a punch, do you know what I mean? A fucking knee was flying up on his face. Now, in fairness, he was able to eat it, but cunt didn't even touch me. And that's not me. But the thing is, I was drunk then, and so I kind of lost my inhibitions and just let my instincts take over, and I realized that I had instincts for it. So I thought, okay, I think I was just 26, and I was like, you know something, fuck, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna train it at least. So I joined Phantom MMA gym, phenomenal gym, especially for striking, you know, for kickboxing and Muay Thai. They have a coach there, Wayne Grant. He was the one who initially trained me Muay Thai. You know, excellent Muay Thai fighter. Really high level. You know, really knows what he's doing. And Phil White, who's the best kickboxing coach I've ever had. He used to coach Ian Gary, actually. You know, not too long ago. And then, you see, I was new to the whole scene of the mixed martial arts gyms, and training with high level guys. And you start off in the beginners classes, and I was doing kickboxing and Muay Thai. But because I've been watching UFC so long, and because I've been kind of training with my mates and doing my own training, like, I was just so far above beginners. And that's just me being honest. So, like, after 2 weeks, I was put in the advanced, and, you know, it was just sparring, pretty much, like, just shin pads, um, mouth guards, and go at it. Obviously, like, don't be fucking trying to take each other's head. Like, take care of each other. Don't be fucking trying to separate each other from consciousness. But practice your skills. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because if you actually want to take it to the next level, you want to get used to that, you know. And I loved it because I got diagnosed with ADHD, and it really helps you to stay super focused, because it's basically like a tactical violent chess match. But it's the strangest and most beautiful sport in a way, because you've got two men or women. Well, let's be real though, more so men. Um, Clobbering the shit out of each other, trying to take each other's consciousness, but it's more than that. It's about your heart, your will, your spirit. Like you will not be broken. Like I mean, um, then I went to Galway. I moved to Galway after that, and I wasn't sure like if it was a thing like, oh, like you're supposed to be like loyal to your gym, or something like that, or but like no, like it's I realized that we're a family, and like mixed martial arts is a family, it's a community, we need each other. And I ran into my old coach before, and I said like what do you think about, like, if you go to if fighters go to join other gyms, like, do you mind? And he says, actually, we encourage you, get as much training in as you can, get as much exposure. So I realized that, like, um you know, we're like it's a community. It doesn't matter where you fucking train. Like, you're not loyal to, like, yeah, you're a family, but they don't own you. Um and I realized that, like it doesn't matter where you fucking train. Like the main thing is, it's the discipline that it gives you in your life, and it helps you. So I happened to be in Galway, and and because Phantom taught me so much in my striking, I kind of almost felt a little bit strange, like, going to another gym. But I was like, fuck it, like, this is my life. I live in Galway now, and my old gym are cool. Like, obviously they just want the best for their fighters, or their members in life. So life took me to Galway, and I had a mate who wanted to start jiu-jitsu. And I'd never done jiu-jitsu before, so I said, yeah, yeah, absolutely. And we did a crash course in MMA jiu-jitsu, and we had a tournament at the end, and it was guys the same kind of level, and we just had like 5 minute matches, and I think I had 3 matches. I was fucking exhausted by the end of it, but I had one. I got one submission, from bottom by Kimura, against my mate, and it was actually just I didn't even mean that to have happened, but I like, now I'm only a white belt at jiu-jitsu, but I like jiu-jitsu as well, because it's pure instinctual, like it's pure flow. So I realized that with a little bit of jiu-jitsu, I was able to kind of formulate my own fight style with the with the kickboxing training I had. So because and so this was 2019 in Galway, and back at the time I was walking around pretty light. I was walking around about 76 kg, and it was in Shaolin MMA Galway. Again, great staff. The owner and the coach there, Ben Davis, I think he's still kind of like a part-time fighter. Back in the day when McGregor was on his come up in Cage Warriors, he was offered the McGregor fight on short notice, because, as I'm sure a lot of you know, like, all throughout McGregor's career, his opponents pulled out. But this guy Ben Davis is only, like, his normal weight division is like bantamweight or featherweight. Like his walking around weight is about 70, 71 kg. So, like, he literally wouldn't have any weight cut at all. He might even fucking have to put on a couple of pounds. Like, but he offered to take that fight. He didn't get it, but he has fought Norman Park in the past again. Who Norman Park's about fucking two weight classes heavier than him. He took on short notice. Um, and then so we did that crash course. But I really wanted to get back to the Muay Thai and get back to the striking. And when that crash course was over, I kind of lost direction for a couple of weeks of my life, and I rolled up off the couch after 2 weeks of just eating shit diet. Like, smoking weed, drinking, partying with friends, whatever. And I was like, I have to get myself back in shape. I have to get myself back focused. There's a Muay Thai class back on tonight, and we were doing different sparring rounds, like changing sparring each round. And I remember there was this one dude, and you could just tell he was the big dog in the yard. Like, he just had this air about him, this confidence. And I ended up sparring with him. I didn't know who the fuck he was. But obviously, like, you know, I was fucking gassed. I was gassed, but just just when I'm into it, I'm so into it, and sometimes you do end up kind of having those little gym wars, just because it's just when you know people who are into it know, they know that you just get in, you just love it. It's the strangest thing in the world. Like, you're beating the shit out of each other, but you're also helping each other to get better. If that, like, mentally, spiritually, physically, but you know what I mean? Like even it's very hard to explain. And I had kind of a moral dilemma for quite a while about loving the sport but not really wanting to hurt someone. But now I've kind of, I'm at a point that I realize that it's for the greater good. It's like a sacrifice, because um that keeps you away from other stuff, like drugs and alcohol, and getting in trouble. And then you can be in a fucking, you can end up in a fight outside the gym. You can take all that aggression and shit outside the gym, and you can end up in jail or prison or dead. So I honestly believe if I hadn't have found it, um I could have gone a completely different direction. um Pre-COVID, I was maybe about 3 months out from having an amateur fight. My coach said I could have made 70 kg, because I was only walking around at 76 kg. But yeah, so about this guy that I was doing Muay Thai with, he it was getting a bit feisty. It was getting a bit heated. And but little did I know after that, this guy was actually 2 weeks out from his second professional fight. And he head kicked me. Now, I was like, what the fuck? We're throwing head kicks now. But like, I did have a mild concussion. I didn't drop. I kept going. I did another 20 minutes with another few sparring partners. Did But it was just, it's one of those things, when you have the adrenaline, you just roll with it, man. You just keep going. I don't know how the fuck I got through it. I got through the next 20 minutes, but I don't really remember much after it. But I made it through the rest of the session. And then I gave myself like a day or two to recover, and then 48 hours later I was out fucking running, because that motivated me to get better, because I wanted to get on that level. And for the fella who head kicked me, thank you. Like, I'm a fan now. I'm a fan now, because I didn't realize who he was. And then I checked him out. I'm like, oh shit, he has a fight coming up. And I'm like, oh, okay, I see. Like, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like, coming off the couch, fucking smoking weed, and this fella's got the eye of the tiger. You know what I mean? Like 2 weeks out from his fucking second professional fight. I'd be head kicking cunts too, if they were coming at me, like, do you know what I'm saying? Because in fairness now, I was coming at him with a bit of heat too, because I didn't know who he was. So then that's just how I get down. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because you're either all in or you're all out. So I wasn't pussyfooting about it. But he caught me with a fucking nice fucking Donald Cerrone style head kick, and I was just like, what the fuck? For say, it kind of rocked my equilibrium. But the thing is, like, this guy was fighting the weight class above me. Like, he would have been a 77 kg. And I can say now, right, honestly, like, I'm actually a fan. His name, by the way, is Andreas Binder. And he defeated Ian Gary in the amateurs. Because afterwards I was like, I kind of just, because even he's on Fight Pass now and everything. Like, I mean, I'm sure the UFC must be looking at him. Like, he's 5-1 with one no contest. And the only guy he lost to was like on his debut in Scotland, when he was, against like a 40-year-old man, when he was very young. So and then the other one, the no contest, that was rematched. Yeah, the guy did a fucking illegal elbow to the back of his neck. Ref called it off. Luckily, he was all right. Knocked the guy out in the second round. So, he's actually, his last fight, he just defeated UFC veteran Rostam Akman, who Ian Gary also defeated. And in my honest opinion, he's a better prospect than Ian Gary. It's just Ian Gary has a shinier record. Ian Gary is 9-0, and I don't mean any, well. Actually, this is gonna sound disrespectful, so I'm gonna say it anyway. But due to the fact that I have been training and I do have a background, in my honest opinion, Ian Gary fought like a pussy against Darian Weeks. He fought like an absolute pussy. Andreas Binder would have fucking floored him round two maximum, round two maximum. I mean, okay, fair enough. He caught the guy with a nice shot at an MSG, and this isn't me trying to throw shit at Ian Gary. Like he's a young guy. He's only 23, but he's nowhere near as good as he thinks he is. Maybe like, but the thing is, he's only 23. Like maybe he won't hit his peak for another 5 years. Personally, I think there's a very good chance he gets fucking chinned by Gabe Green because he fought like an absolute pussy and barely won a decision against a guy that the UFC had hand selected him to have a showcase performance again, and he goes out and does the fucking that. Do you know what I'm saying? This guy he's fighting, Gabe Green, is a legit fucking guy, and due to their fight styles, like Ian Gary fights not to lose. Andreas Binder fucking goes out to finish cunts. Like, do you know what I mean? He's kind of like a mix between like a fucking Kelvin Gastelum and fucking Ismail Naurdiev, if that makes sense. But actually, to be honest, and like Andreas Binder would have a much better chance against Gabe Green because Gabe Green's a fucking formidable dude, man. I think he's 2-1 the UFC, and he had a fucking scrap with like a close scrap with Daniel Rodriguez, who's on the periphery of the rankings, and he just chinned some fucking and he can take a punch too. That's your thing. He can take a punch, but and honestly, I don't see that dog. I don't see that dog in Ian Gary. I don't. I think he could turn out to be an average fighter, but I think he's trying too hard to be like the next McGregor or something, and it just comes across as cheesy. And I don't think he likes taking punches. I don't think he likes taking punches personally, and personally I believe that Gabe Green's gonna chin him. He's gonna chin him, or Ian Gary is gonna be on his bike for 3 rounds. But I honestly think that maybe a loss will do him good, and maybe in the future he'll in the future Gary, maybe in the future he'll actually come back and be that level he thought he'd be. I don't mean to shit on the guy, but I'm just saying if you're going to talk like you're the next Conor McGregor, you can't go around and you can't have a performance like that against Darian Weeks, dude. Sometimes losses are the best thing that ever happened to you. Like, just because like I've been living in Russia and Thailand and Scotland, between all because I'll defend myself. Like if I don't believe I've ever hit a cunt that hasn't deserved it, but I've been in over 30 altercations in the last 4 years, and I've only lost four of them, and one of them was that one, and the rest of them were they're professional or they were trained. And the thing is though, we don't need to use it. Like it's just it helps. It helps in life, and I've never been in trouble with the law. I don't have any criminal record because anybody that ever fucking caught these hands had it coming. And just I feel like we live in a society today where they're trying to um demasculate men, and fucking wave all these fucking rainbow flags everywhere in our faces. And listen, I don't give a fuck about before anyone jumps on me about homophobe. I don't give a fuck what way you're swinging. Like if you're gay, you're gay. Like if you're like fucking black, why I don't give a fuck about skin color, sexuality, and like that. All I'm saying is all this fucking shit is constantly being shoved in our face, and I feel like there are a lot of low testosterone men, basically just beta men, bitches, who their fucking grandfathers who fucking fought and died on the battlefields will be turning in their fucking graves. So I feel maybe in this day and age where there's so many pussies, mixed martial arts can be a good thing.